I woke up and I was feeling pretty sick and like nauseous, and I like sat up and I was very taken aback because I was no longer in my room.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing another episode. I'm really low. It's because my cousin's really tall. But I'm going to be doing an episode of I Know What I Saw with my cousin. You guys met him once before when we were doing the... I went and surprised him in his hometown when he was doing a concert. Give me a hug.
What are you surprising me with? Hey! Oh my gosh!
So, he's going to be here with me today, and he's going to be telling me, because he's got some pretty intense ghost stories from when he was a kid, and I've always wanted to have a sit down with him and have a talk. So, yeah, when he gets back, he's just gone to the washroom quick, and then we will begin.
Alright.
Alright.
My goodness.
I'm very, very short.
Yeah, you are. It's okay.
Especially because you're like all leaning really quick the same height. Alright, so this is my cousin Josh, and
that is me.
And he is going to be telling me some of his ghost stories, because he's like you've had one of the like most experiences. First of all, have you ever watched my channel before?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, have you watched this series?
I think I checked out the pilot. I think I checked out the very first one. Unfortunately, because my social media, I have so many people that I follow and that I'm friends with, everything gets clogged. So I miss things a lot, but I'll make an effort to double back.
Well, I hope you'll at least see your own episode.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Because that would be kind of horrible if you were like, I'm not watching that.
So,
alright, so tell me, like, how old were you when you first started having experiences?
Oh, God, young.
Was it here?
No, the earliest one I remember was, oh man, I want to say I was only like maybe 4 or 5. We were at our Aunt Jan's house,
okay,
in Owen Sound, and Tyler, Teresa, and Jacob were still living there. And Tyler and I were sharing a bed in a room that was in the front of the house, but separated from the dining room, which is where all the adults were hanging out. Tyler and I were sleeping, and this radio in the corner of the room came on, and it was dark, so we thought maybe his younger brother had gotten up in the middle of the night, moved over, and like turned it on to prank us.
Right. So
we turned on the lamp, turned off the radio, and laid back down. And like, you know when you're a kid and you're trying to pretend you're sleeping, so like you close your eyes like almost all the way and you can still see through your lashes or whatever? We did that and nobody came in the room and the radio turned on again. So we were like, oh, well, this is weird. So we got up again, turned it off, and like the second we turned it off, it just came back on even louder. So we ran out of there, went and got our parents. They came in, turned it off, it came back on. They unplugged it, left the room. As soon as they were out of the room, it came back on again. So, yeah, somebody was messing with us.
So, the episode that I did, not last but the time before, that was cats, and that's the house that she lives in, or lived in, grew up in.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah.
So I'm sure she must have had so many stories.
She actually didn't have a whole lot. Like, mostly it was, like, disappearing toothbrushes and ghost cats.
That kind of thing will happen a lot. Especially there. Like, they've told me so many stories about, like, they'll set out the silverware for dinner, and then they come back and it's gone.
Yeah, and then, like, at Thanksgiving, the microwave unplugged itself. Well, literally while we were standing there.
Right, I do remember that. Yeah, so, like, just, like, whack stuff like that has happened pretty regularly. I think the radio thing, I think that was, like, Tyler's attachment, whatever it may be. There's been stuff at home, like, I mean, from stuff just getting knocked over to, like, weird energies in the house. There was a time period when I still had my dogs, Dakota, or I think maybe we just had Dakota at the time. For, like, a 2-week period, he would not stop shaking and, like, skulking around the house. Like, he was scared of something, and so things would fall over, and, like, I don't know, we'd hear footsteps through the house, and so it got to a point where my mom lit a candle and was like, yo, whatever this is, like, you gotta stop. You're tormenting me, you're terrorizing my dog, like, go to this light and, like, let it be done. Just basically, like, go fuck yourself. And, so that worked for a bit, and then there's been, like, kind of spurts. I don't know, it seems, like, kind of random sometimes, like, we'll go long times without anything happening, and then like a very short window in which a lot happens. I guess the most significant one was, I don't even know how old I was. I want to say I was high school, maybe ninth grade, which was a long time for me. uh, I was asleep at my house. My mom and I had had a fight before she went to work, and she works the midnight shift in a factory. And so there was just this, like, anger in the house and this, like, bad juju, I guess. And I went to sleep in my bed in my room. And I woke up and I was feeling pretty sick and, like, nauseous. And I, like, sat up and I was very taken aback because I was no longer in my room. I was in my bed, but my bed was now in the living room. The couch was in the kitchen. My room had been flipped and thrown apart and torn apart and everything. Scratches all over the walls, papers, clothes, everything everywhere. Things just tossed about haphazardly. And I didn't know what to do. I literally just sat there staring at it for like probably 5 whole minutes.
And I remember you put a picture up on Twitter. I'm like, what's going on? And you're like, I literally woke up and my entire bedroom is in the living room.
Yeah, and I don't know like what the deal was with that. Because like, I called my mom and I was like, hey, listen, something weird happened. And she came home because she thought I was bullshitting. She was like, you're wasting my time. I'm going to come prove it. She came back to bed, was in the living room, couch was in the kitchen. And like, it took us both so much effort to move that couch back into the living room. It was heavy. It was like leather in a metal frame. And it was just like, I don't know how it got there in the first place. And so we moved everything back. And she went back to work. And then like, that was the biggest one, was like shit just everywhere. And like furniture being in different rooms. It was very bizarre. And like I felt sick for the rest of the night. And I was like, well, this is a lot of fun. And I had an indigenous friend of mine come in with like sage and sweetgrass and stuff and smudge the place. Try to keep, that bad energy at bay. But yeah, that was the biggest one. There's been tons of times of like, we'll be standing in a room and like a coin will be thrown or something, and we'll hear it fall out and it'll be like a dime or something like that.
The one that I remember like the most, I think like the very first story I think I ever really heard about your being around ghosts and stuff was something emptied from the bottom. Like,
that was here. That was here. Yeah.
Okay,
we're
so before we go, this is the house that, this is where my grandparents live. They bought it when they first got married. They've been married for over 60 years, right?
65 years in 2020.
So, like, this is the house that my dad grew up in, and all my aunts and uncles grew up in. My uncles, I don't have any uncles. All my aunts grew up in. So this is where Joshy stays when he comes to visit, because he lives hours and hours away.
Yeah.
So
this was a couple of years ago. I'm glad you brought that up, because I thought of it earlier, but I forgot to bring it up. We were downstairs in the living room. And when you walked in, there's the chair to your right, but to your left there was this like tall rack of CDs. And with our grandparents, it's a bunch of gospel, a bunch of country, and I walked in, and this thing, like every single CD, like no exaggeration, there must have been like 50 CDs stacked into this thing, and from bottom to top, they all came flying out
at you, right?
Yeah, and like, had I tipped it, they would have come top to bottom.
Right.
But no, like, one by one, out onto the floor in front of me. Yeah, it was insane. And, like, nothing had happened prior to that. It was just like, gotcha. You know what I mean?
Has
like,
anything else like that happened here? Like
here, man, it's weird because, like, I feel like I remember things as a kid, but as a kid, like, everything's scary.
Yeah.
I remember I don't know, it was a long time ago, like, I was, like, young. Maybe 6. It was in that, like, 2 or 3 year period. And I was sleeping in here, and when it's dark, in the town we're in Meaford, Ontario, it's not a big town, and light pollution is not a factor, and so when it's dark, it is dark. And it was very dark in here, but when your eyes are adjusted, you can see, like, darker things against the background.
Shadow.
Yeah, and so, like, I was sleeping, and my mom wasn't here. She was away, either, like, in Windsor or out with friends or something. She just wasn't here for the night. And I heard these footsteps come up the stairs, and it was, like, too fast to be our grandparents. And I know Grandma was sleeping, and Grandpa, well, when he has to go to the bathroom at night, he usually just goes outside. And
to be a boy.
yeah, so it wasn't either of them, and it just came over and it stood right in front of my doorway, and I did not move. I was wrapped up in this blanket here and like not moving at all, and it just stood there for a minute or two, and it went back down the stairs. The door didn't open at the bottom of the stairs. It just went down and out, and that was that.
Well, because this is such an old house too, you kind of have to wonder what's around.
Yeah, and it's strange too because they've lived here for so long, like over 60 years. So like, I don't think anybody's died in here during their tenure.
No,
but like, you gotta also consider like, Meaford is an old town, and the land and the people who lived here before the settlers, they're even older.
Right.
And so there has to be some sort of residual energy, just based on how much history is here.
Absolutely.
And so I wouldn't be surprised if there was something here. And then like, I don't know, man, like a lot of people will be visited by people in their dreams and stuff like that, and that's happened to me a couple times. A few years ago, a girl that I went to high school with, she passed away pretty tragically, and it's weird because like her best friend is a super skeptic about everything. Like, ghosts don't exist, there's no afterlife, you die and you die. That's it. And
all just darkness from here.
yeah, and in this dream, it was strange because like, I was watching this girl and the aforementioned skeptic best friend, like they were hugging, and I asked this girl over her friend's shoulder, I was like, "Are you okay?" Like, because I was aware that she had died, and I was like, "Are you okay?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm okay." And that's all the dream consisted of. And I woke up and there was this like sense of peace, and I theorized that maybe this dream manifested itself to me because her friend is so skeptical and so like, nope, nothing exists, that she's not receptive
of the messages she's trying to get.
Yeah, and so I think maybe that happened. Maybe it was just a dream.
Did you ever have a talk to that girl? Did you ever tell her?
Yeah, I messaged her like the next day, and I was like, hey, listen, this occurred, and she was just like, oh, that's a very nice dream. You know what I mean? Okay. So, but I passed on the message, and that's what I was supposed to do.
Good. At least you tried.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any like really, really good ones. I don't know.
The bedroom one's pretty good.
The bedroom one's scary, man. But like, I don't know. It's never been anything where I've like feared for my life or anything like that. Like I know people have experienced some pretty.
I know that you said that at one point your mom literally was like she even told me, like she even had to sit down with my sister and I, and she's like, if you ever feel like there's something in the room and nobody's believing you, you need to sit down and tell it to stop doing what it's doing. And like it was like, you know, she had so much experience because she just like she just wanted to pass on that message. If you ever feel like you can't control what's going on, sit down and tell whatever it is to stop, and they'll generally listen.
I'll tell you a good one. I was staying at a friend's house, and they had like kind of just like recently moved into this place, and it's a town a couple towns away from here. And he was sleeping in his room upstairs. They didn't have room for me because like it was a small like kind of like townhousey kind of thing. But like I was fine. I just sat on the couch, whatever. And it was late, and I woke up and I couldn't figure out why I was awake. Like my phone hadn't gone off. I didn't have to go to the bathroom, anything like that. And the closet door across the room like slowly opened, and it was silent. And like I didn't like see anything, but just this like fear like crept over me, and I was like literally like paralyzed, and I kept trying to like make sounds, and it was like as much energy and as much effort as I could, like I was trying to expel it and like make some sort of noise, and I couldn't. And it just like this like sense of dread, and it seemed like the room was like getting darker and darker, and like I mustered up every bit of energy I had, and it felt like I was screaming at the top of my lungs. And I heard myself, and it was just this little squeak, and it was just, go away. And there was this big flash of white light. The closet door slammed. It slammed so hard it shook the house, and it woke them up upstairs.
So they probably thought you did something.
Yeah, they came down, they're like, what's going on? They thought somebody broke in.
Okay.
Because like, there was just this big bang, right? And I was like, well, this is what happened. And I guess they had experienced some shit, too. And I guess, like, the thing that lives there was, like, living in the attic. And so the daughter, her room was connected to the attic, and like, they would not go in that room, like, ever.
Why would you want to live connected to the attic? There's no good ever comes from an attic. Like,
yeah,
that's
true. That is pretty accurate.
Just like basements. No good ever comes from the basements.
Yeah, I mean, just one floor. That's all you need.
Yeah, just a bungalow. Nope, nothing below you, nothing above you.
Absolutely. Actually, just like live in a storage container.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need a necessity.
Cheaper too.
Just buy a mattress, sleep on the floor, scavenge for food.
You can get them heated now for $100 a month.
That's all you need.
Jeez, wow. No, I think that a big thing like of my fascination with like the ghosty stuff is like Uncle Lee's house, but you've always had stories. And
man, that house is haunted as hell. No, man, like, that's a different energy there. Like, that thing's out to fuck with you. Yeah. And, like, with all mine, it's been, like, kind of like...
Nothing threatening.
No, just like a poke in the ribs. Like, one, to, like, let you know they're there, and two, a lot of them are just, like... It's like a practical joke, almost.
They're mischievous.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever is in that house, man, I'm scared of it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would not want to... Like, their whole upstairs terrifies me.
I've only actually been up there like one time, and I don't even remember.
There's something there, man, and I don't know what it is. So like, I think he'll be like your most lucrative guest,
right?
For this kind of topic.
Yeah, I'm really. He's very nervous. He said he's gonna have to have a couple drinks before he sits down. And I was like, but come on, you'd have fun. Anyways, thank you for sitting down with me.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and when you do put out new music, I always kind of put a bit of a sample at the end.
Oh,
to know where they can get it
great,
and stuff.
Yeah.
As I did with your surprise.
Just play EWR again. That's all we have right now.
That's all. But there's more coming soon.
Riverside Drive 2020, baby.
You guys need to hook up a YouTube account.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
But when I was trying to link a way that they could just listen to it other than just Spotify, I was trying to link a YouTube account, and the YouTube account that has your song on it isn't like anything. It's got random.
Yeah, because that went through our distributor.
No offense to whoever owns that account.
No, it's nobody. Nobody owns that. It's our distributor. Okay. We go through DistroKid, which is a fantastic service for anybody looking to get their music online. They have really, really affordable and feasible options. But you basically select whether or not you want your music on YouTube. And if you do, it creates this, like... It's not really a profile, but there has to be something to upload to.
Right. And
so that's all it was. So the song is on YouTube.
It's linked in the video where I surprised him. It's called Two Sisters Take Windsor.
And the song is called EWR by Riverside Drive. It's about the best day of my life. Pause this. Go listen. We'll be here when you come back.
I'll tag it, like, right there.
Fantastic. Where is it?
And description, too. It'll be in the description as well.
Fantastic. Well, again, thank you for having me.
And again, thank you for being here. And yeah, like, the best thing is that he came in from, like, I've actually been waiting for him to come here, because ever since I started filming this series.
I know.
Because I started this in, like, June, but, like, obviously working a lot in university and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't get up here often.
He's finally here. It is Christmas holidays, so I'm happy that he's here. I'm happy I got him in a video. Next time we'll have to do, like, a funny video or something.
Yeah.
Because this is, like, he's literally, like, one of the funniest people I know.
Oh, God, that's too much pressure.
And you're wise.
That's like, so much pressure.
Guys, listen back and just listen to some of the words he says. Like, I actually love having conversations with him.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's insane.
That's entirely too kind, but thank you.
Anyway, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And check out Josh's band, Riverside Drive. Their one song out right now. It's on iTunes, Spotify. It's everywhere. EWR. Check it out. Like I said, it'll be in the description. And that's all I got. So have yourselves a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Don't know when this video will be out, but it will be the New Year. So have a great New Year.
2020, baby.
Yeah. See yas. Bye.